Easy Spanish, step by step, will help you learn Spanish, talking, reading, and writing as quickly and as thoroughly as possible. Written for beginner and advanced beginner learners, it teaches grammar and conversation in the most logical order to enable you to develop your language skills naturally. To take full advantage of the unique grammatical progression of the book, you should study each chapter or step one after another. Do not skip around. Each step you take will lead you to the next. Each chapter contains clear grammar explanations. Be sure to understand every concept before moving on to the next. Notice that there are a few exceptions to rules. So once you have learned a concept, it is yours. Try to learn the vocabulary and verbs provided. They have been carefully selected on the basis of usefulness and frequency. The vocabulary list will help enhance your communication, while complete verb conjugations are given so that you can practice pronunciation as you learn verbs. Over 300 of the most common verbs in Spanish are presented. Varied written and oral exercises are included to check your understanding and progress. The book has a complete answer key in the back. It is also a good idea to write your own questions and sentences and practice them aloud. Sometimes your own creations are more interesting and aid in learning. Original readings are included in every chapter. They become progressively more challenging in form and content throughout the book. Use these reading comprehension sections to learn new vocabulary and to practice reading aloud. Easy Spanish Step by Step is divided into 3 parts. The first gives you all the fundamentals of the language in the present tense. You will notice that the word order of English and Spanish in this part is essentially the same. This makes learning in the early stages very quick. The second part explains indirect objects, direct object pronouns, reflexive verbs, and the present subjunctive. The third part presents the 2 most used tenses in the past, the preterite and the imperfect. A student once asked me if Spanish is truly easy. It is, in comparison to any of the other languages of the world. To start with, the pronunciation is easy. Spanish is a phonetically perfect language, which means that once you learn to pronounce each vowel and consonant, you will be able to pronounce all words correctly. Before you begin, practice all the sounds outlined in the Guide to Pronunciation in the following pages. If possible, try to practice with a native speaker. Then, remember to read and answer questions aloud as much as you can to develop your pronunciation. This book is written with a logical approach that makes it accessible, whether you are a self-study learner or a student in an organized teaching program. With Easy Spanish Step by Step, you will see that everything falls quickly into place. In a few weeks, you will be able to read and write Spanish quite easily. And once you learn the Spanish in this book, you will be able to get along in any Spanish-speaking country. The grammar is standard in all parts of Spanish-speaking world, and although accents change from place to place, you will get accustomed to the sounds very quickly. Have fun and enjoy using Spanish everywhere you need it. Guide to Pronunciation. Spanish spelling is an exact reflection of the pronunciation of the language. The pronunciation of each letter is subject to precise and consistent rules, and words are pronounced by adding together the sounds of each individual letter. Vowels. The sounds of the vowels are clear and short. Pronounce the examples. Letter. A, E, I, O, U. Letter A. Pronounce like the A in father. A. La casa, la tapa, Panama, Canada. Letter E. Pronounce like there's 2 sounds, the E in café when final, or the E in set. elsewhere. Elefante, come, vive, verde, que, pero, es, hotel. Letter I. Pronounced like the I in machine. Sí, cine, comida. Letter O. Two sounds. It's pronounced like the O in hope or the O in for. Oso, otro, hospital, doctor, profesor. Letter U, pronounced like the U in rule. Uno, tú, puro. U, written as derecis u. When pronounced in gue and gui, agüero, gira. Silent in gue and gui elsewhere, guerra, guitarra. Consonants, be, ve. The B and boat, when they occur at the beginning of a breath group or following L, M, or N, softer elsewhere, produced through slightly opened lips. Baño, burro, embargo, alba. El vino, el voto, invierno, vamos. Cuba, la boca, Havana, la vaca. In Spanish, the B and V have the same sound. The sound of English V does not exist in Spanish. C. The C in cat before A, O, U, or before a consonant. The S in sail before E or I. Camisa, color, concreto. Centavo, cita, cinco. CH, the ch in chum, chocolate, chorizo. The letter D, two sounds. The D in dog when it occurs at the beginning of a breath group or following L or N, the TH in other elsewhere. Donde, falda, conde, boda, poder, verdad, nada, cada, estudio. F, English F. Futuro, fila, oficina. G, the G in game before A, O, or U, or before a consonant. The H in hat before E or I. Gato, gusto, grande, genio, generoso, gitano. H, silent. Hombre, hasta, hablar. J, English H. It can also be given a slightly guttural sound. Juan, oyo, mujer. K, English K. Kayak, kilometro, kiwi. L, English L, but with the tip of the tongue touching the roof of the mouth. El, hotel, mil, palo. Double L, the Y in beyond, or in some countries the S in pleasure. Caballo, bello, llave. M, English M, menos, cama, marrón. N, English N, nota, nación, nariz. Ñ, tilde N, the NY in canyon or the ni in onion. Mañana, España. Señor. P, English P, but not explosive, without the puff of air in the English sound. Papel, persona pobre. Q, the K in key, found only in the combinations que and ki. Quito, queso, equipo. R, the DD in ladder, a single tongue flap. Caro, barato, para, hablar. The R at the beginning of a word or after L, N, or S is trilled like double R. Rosa, el río, Enrique, las rosas. Double R, a trill or tongue roll. There's no equivalent sound in English. Perro, horrible, horrible, carro. S, pronounced English S, sopa, sala, blusa. T, English T, but not explosive, with the tip of the tongue against the back of the upper front teeth. Torta, talento, tesoro. B, Spanish B, There is no V sound in Spanish. W, the letter W, exists in Spanish only in words of foreign origin and is not considered part of the Spanish alphabet. X, English X, experto, examen. Y, Spanish double L, the Y in beyond, or in some countries, the S in pleasure. Papaya, papagayo, ayer. Z, the S in sail, azul, brazo, luz. Stress, written accentuation and spelling. Natural stress. Words that end in a vowel, a, e, I, o, u, or consonants, n and s, ese, have their natural stress on the next to last syllable. Cucaracha, volumen, mañana, examen, triste, tomates, hablo. Words that end in any consonant other than n or s have their natural stress on the final syllable. Salud, mujer, amistad, cantar, papel, doctor, vegetal, nariz, azul. Written accents. When a word does not follow one of these two rules, it will have a written accent on the syllable that is stressed. Teléfono, canción, lámpara, lección, música, difícil, café, fácil. If a one-syllable word has a written accent, it means that there's another word in the language that has the same spelling but another meaning. El, the, si, if, tú, your, se, oneself. El, he, si, yes, tú, you, se, I know. If a two-syllable word has a written accent that does not affect the pronunciation, it means that there is another word that has the same spelling but a different meaning. Este, this, ese, that. Este, this one, ese, that one. Interrogative words have an accent mark that does not affect pronunciation. Que, what, quién, who, dónde, where, cómo, how, por qué, why, cuál, which. Spelling changes. Z to C. Nouns and adjectives that end in Z change to C to form the plural. El lápiz, los lápices. La nariz, las narices. Feliz, felices. Z followed by A or O changes to C before an E or I. The sound of Z and C are the same. Comienza, comience. Empiezo, empiece. Other spelling changes. All other spelling changes occur in order to maintain a required sound. Tocar, for example, has a hard C sound that must be preserved in other forms of the verb. If you see toque with QU replacing the C, it is to maintain the K sound. Llegar, for example, has a hard G sound, which must be preserved. If you see llegue with GU replacing the G, it is to maintain the hard G sound. Castilian Spanish. There are only a few differences in pronunciation between the Spanish spoken in Latin America and that spoken in Spain. Both the C that precedes E or I and Z have the th sound heard in English thought and thing. When J or G precedes E or I, it has a slightly more guttural sound. Tips for pronunciation. While practicing, remember to keep the vowel sounds short and clear. Always use the Spanish R sound. Resist the use of the English R. Implode the sounds of P and T. Make sure there is no puff of air. Always pronounce Z like the letter S. Give the syllables an almost equal emphasis, a sort of staccato sound. Pronounce every syllable clearly and precisely in order to develop an even speech pattern. Nouns, articles, and adjectives. The gender of nouns and the definite article. A noun is a person, place, or thing. In Spanish, all nouns are either masculine or feminine. In Spanish, the definite article, English the, agrees with the noun in gender, masculine or feminine, and number, singular or plural. El, la, los, las. Singular nouns, masculine. The masculine singular noun takes the definite article el. Most nouns that end in O are masculine. Pronounce the following words aloud. El amigo, the friend. El banco, the bank. El baño, the bathroom. El carro, the car. El gato, the cat. El hermano, the brother. El libro, the book. El muchacho, the boy. El niño, the little boy, the child. El perro, the dog. El teléfono, the telephone. El vino, the wine. Many masculine nouns do not end in O. Therefore, it is necessary to learn each noun with its article. El animal, the animal. El café, the coffee. El doctor, the doctor. El hombre, the man. El hospital, the hospital. El hotel, the hotel. El tomate, the tomato. El tren, the train. Some masculine nouns end in A or ma. El clima, the climate. El día, the day. El drama, the drama. El idioma, the language. El mapa, the map. El planete, the planet. El poema, the poem. El problema, the problem. El programa, the program. El sistema, the system. Feminine. The feminine singular noun takes the definite article la. Most nouns that end in A are feminine. Pronounce the following words aloud. La amiga, the friend. La blusa, the blouse. La bolsa, the bag. La cama, the bed. La casa, the house. La cerveza, the beer. La comida, the meal. La hermana, the sister. La iglesia, the church. La lámpara, the lamp. La mesa, the table. La muchacha, the girl. La niña, the little girl. La persona, the person. La planta, the plant. La silla, the chair. La tienda, the store. La ventana, the window. Nouns that end in C-O-I-N, sion, shon, dad, tad, or tud are feminine. La canción, the song. La conversación, the conversation. La invitación, the invitation. La lección, the lesson. La ilusión, the illusion. La televisión, the television. La ciudad, the city. La verdad, the truth. La amistad, the friendship. La actitud, the attitude. A few nouns that end in O are feminine. La foto, the photograph. La mano, the hand. La radio, the radio. Many feminine nouns do not follow these patterns. Therefore, it is important to learn each noun with its article. La clase, the class. La flor, the flower. La luz, the light. La mujer, the woman. La piel, the skin. La suerte, the luck.